Alright guys, today we're going to talk about butter. I've been wanting to talk about butter for a while. I see a lot of people mis-IDing butter or lesser with Mojave, and I think this video will kind of help out a little bit. Let's get to it. Alright, today we're going to talk about butter lesser. Butter and lesser is, I think, one of the most key ingredients to making the best combos. I love them. I think they bring a lot of color. They bring a lot of nice patterns to snakes. And I just wanted to go over it because there's a lot of times that I'm hopping on Facebook and I see people post a snake and it'll be a Mojave and everybody will be like, oh, it's a lesser, it's a lesser, it's a butter, it's a lesser. Or what's the difference between a butter and a lesser? Alright, so I got a single gene that we could look at, and I also have a 2-gene female that's a breeding size that has some nice bright yellow colors that I can show y'all. And let's look at them. Right here, let's see if I can find her. Alright, so butter. So butter and lesser are pretty much the same snake in my opinion. Alright, you have butter and you have lesser. When I hop on Morph Market, I see sometimes combos like a butter clown will cost a little bit more than a lesser clown. Maybe it's because less people work with that line. I'm not sure, but to me, when I look at them, they both look almost the same. Some people say butter's brighter. Some people say, you know, lesser's brighter. It all depends on who you talk to. This girl here, she is a butter. Butter 100% het clown. She's a female I'm going to grow out. I'm going to prove her out. She's 100% het, so I'm not really worried about whether she proves out or not. And hopefully the camera's picking up her colors. You'll see when it comes to Mojave versus butter that Mojave they'll have keyholes. You know, you'll see them have keyholes, and butters usually don't. Like you'll see like speckling in the alien heads. But pretty much that's it. Like she has like 1 or 2, but that's the biggest thing you're gonna look for when somebody posts a Mojave versus a lesser or a butter. Lesser or butters have nice clean bellies. Like I said, they have like a nice gold yellow into like a bronze. It just goes into a bronze. Versus Mojaves will tend to have like a greenish tint to them. But when you take pictures of these guys, or when they get older, it seems like it's harder to tell because their colors vary so much and change. So that's a single gene butter. I'll get it closer to camera if you want to see it. Yeah, see how the alien heads hardly have keyholes in them? Nice bright yellow colors. The camera's actually picking up her colors pretty well. Nice snake, I love them. Hoping to make some butter clowns in the future. By the time she gets old enough, I'll have some male clowns that I'll be able to put to her. Hopefully a 4 to 5G male. All right, so that's a regular butter. Now let me pull out my Enchi lesser. All right, Enchi lesser. Enchi lesser, pretty much the same thing. You'll see she has some nice yellow to her. It's one of my breeding females. One of the first females I ever bought, actually. She's about like 4 or 5 years old. Never bred her. This is the first year I'm breeding her. And you can see, same thing. Like Enchi, I think Enchi brightens up the snake, so she held her colors well. You can see the nice yellow in her. And you can see the reduced pattern of how the alien heads aren't as much blown out. Oh, where are you going? Some nice color. She's beautiful. When I got her, she always hissed. She wasn't always the nicest snake. Alright. But you can see the nice color, nice contrast. Beautiful snake. This girl I'm breeding to my Super Pastel Enchi Pinstripe Spider. Alright, I'm hoping to get some 4 to 5 gene girls out of her. I can't wait. I started pairing her in August, still waiting for her to ovulate. But she's doing well. Alright, I'll put her back, but you can see the difference. Same thing. The alien heads don't have keyholes in them. And she reduces the pattern, helps keep the color a bit. She still has some beautiful color in her. She didn't really brown out. There you go. Now I do have one Mojave. This girl I got off of, I bought a red-tailed boa 6 years ago. He was actually my first official snake as an adult. You know, I had a ball python as a kid, but he was my first snake that I got. And then I reached out to him recently and wanted to get another boa because my boas had albino, and I've been wanting albino for years. I don't really want to breed him. I just wanted albino, and he tried to sell me this whole collection, but in this collection he had one ball python, and I saw it and I'm like, hey, you want to get rid of that? And he's like, sure. So I picked her up really cheap. But you can see the only thing he remembered, he traded her for 7 years ago for a boa, and the only thing he could remember that the breeder telling him is that it was Enchi. But you can see she's an Enchi Mojave, if anything. But you can see the same, like I was telling you, when you look for Mojave, you got keyholes. See that? She has more of a greenish tint to her. Now I've done a lot of research because I was trying to verify if she was an Enchi Mojave. You can tell she got burned when she was younger on something. I'm not sure what, but she does have burn marks. But when I was trying to do research on Enchi Mojaves or Mochis, you don't really find many adult pictures, but when I did find adult pictures on her, they resembled her quite a bit. It's like Mojave and Enchi kind of fight over the pattern to reduce it. But you can see all the keyholes. She has a nice green tint to her. And I would bet any money when my lesser gets older, my single gene lesser, their colors are going to be, when you take pictures of them, they're going to probably be quite similar. Because I think that's what happens when people capture it with the camera. It looks so identical. Because even this girl, when I first got her, I posted up to see what people will say, and everybody was telling me lesser, lesser, lesser. But then the more research I've done and the more I looked into it, one of the key things you look for is the keyholes. Keyholes, the colors are different. She's a big girl. I think she's like 2,000 grams. But you can see the reduced pattern in some of these alien heads. But I'm going to prove her out. I'm actually breeding the same male to her. Super pastel. So it's going to be minimum pastel. Enchi. Pinstripe. Spider. So it's going to make some interesting babies. I'm probably going to hold a lot of those back because I want some more 4 gene, 5 gene females and males in my collection. At least one male that's 5 gene. I'm hoping to hit some stuff without spider in it, but we will see. But those are my girls. I just figured I'll just go over, how to identify lesser versus butter. We look at 3 different examples because a lot of stuff that I've been seeing, people will be like, oh yeah, I got an Enchi, or I got a Mojave, or I got a lesser butter, but it'd be like a 3 or 4 gene female, and it's once you start getting to that, it's kind of hard to tell and to pinpoint how to identify them. At least with those, the most I had was 2 genes in them. So hopefully I'll get some super Enchi stuff out of those clutches, and I'll get stuff soon. But I appreciate you guys watching my video. I'm using a new camera, so I'm hoping the sound sounds good. I'm hoping the video quality is a lot better because it is in 4K. But my content's going to be getting better. If you guys can, please like, follow, and share. I really do appreciate it. And I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks. Have a good one.